He goes to football. I'm on the touchline. He stops at the supermarket. I'm at the end of the aisle. At home, his kids are waiting. So am I. I'm the boy he killed 5 years ago because he was speeding, and now he has to live with it.
Think. It's 30 for a reason.
When he goes to work, I'm there. At the weekend, I'm there. On holiday, building sandcastles, I'm there, beside his son. At night, he tries to forget, but I'm always there. I'm the boy he killed 7 years ago, because he was speeding, and now he has to live with it.
Think. It's 30 for a reason.
He wakes up, washes his face. I'm there as he brushes his teeth. He takes the train to work. I'm at the station. I'm beside him at his desk, with him when he comes home. He watches cartoons with his son. He tries to look away, but I'm there. I'm the girl he killed 6 years ago because he was speeding, and now he has to live with it.
Think. It's 30 for a reason.
Are you in your car listening to this? Because if you are, I'm going to make a bet with you. And I'm pretty confident I'm going to win. Right, here goes, okay. I bet you're running late. All right, forget that. That's too obvious. Okay, I bet someone's cut you up already today. No? Hang on. No, I know. No, this is the one. I bet you're driving too fast at this precise moment. If a child went out in front of you now, could you stop? Think. Slow down.
It's hard to concentrate on two things when you're on a mobile phone. It's hard to concentrate on two things when you're on a mobile phone. You're 4 times more likely to have a crash when you're on a mobile phone. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at the same time. From February the 27th, if you're caught using a handheld mobile, you'll get 3 points on your licence and a £60 fine. Think. Switch off before you drive off. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things when you're on a mobile phone. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things when you're on a mobile phone. You're 4 times more likely to have a crash when you're on a mobile phone. It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at the same time. If you're caught using a handheld mobile, you'll get 3 points on your licence and a £60 fine. Think. Switch off before you drive off.
I first realised that people couldn't see my brother when he was 16. And you'd think not being seen would be fun, you know, the things you could get away with. But basically it scares me and Mum to death every time he leaves the house. If people can't see him, he might get knocked down by a car or something. So if you're out there driving now, please watch out for him. He tries to make himself seen by wearing a yellow jacket. His name's John. He rides a motorbike. Think. Look out for bikes.
From the 18th of September, there is a new law to protect us in cars and goods vehicles. Children up to 135 centimetres or around 4'5" must use the right child car seat or booster.
To receive further information, call 08000 327252 or visit thinkroadsafety.gov.uk.
Think. Use the right child car seat.
When you're tired, the monotony of driving is sending you to sleep. You're tired. The monotony of driving is sending you to sleep. Driving is sending you to sleep. Sending you to sleep. Sleep.
If you fall asleep at the wheel, you're 50% more likely to die or suffer serious injury. Because when you're asleep, you can't brake. Have a rest and a coffee every 2 hours. Think. Tiredness kills.
John, can you take this gent down to cell number 3, please?
Yep, come this way. Take your shoes off outside the cell there. Can you go? Thank you. Because you're having a blood test, you're going to be here for a little bit of time. You're going to be here for a while, alright? There's a bell on the side there if you want anything.
Get caught drink driving and you'll be processed like any other criminal. Think.
Phone conversations while you're driving can start in many different ways.
Hello, Mike? Yeah, how you doing? You alright?
Hi, Mum. Hi. Yeah, I just wondered, are you around later?
Hello, love. I fancy you calling. Yes.
But more and more end up in just one way.
That's a £60 fine and 3 points on your licence, sir.
Think. Switch off before you drive off.
If you don't wear your seatbelt...
If you don't wear your seatbelt...
If you don't wear a helmet whilst cycling...
If you don't wear a helmet while cycling...
If you use your mobile phone whilst crossing the road...
whilst crossing the road...
If you cross at a pedestrian crossing when the red man shows...
pedestrian crossing when the red man shows...
Your kids will copy you.
Your kids will copy you.
Be aware of your actions on the road. Think.
4 more junctions.
Tiredness kills. Think. Take a 15-minute break every 2 hours.
Follow me up to the desk here, please. Could you stand there and keep your hands out your pocket for me, please? Move open the canter for me, mate. Every sergeant, this gentleman's been arrested on suspicion of drink drive. Vehicle stopped, the driver was spoken to, the roadside breath procedure was carried out and produced a positive result. Gentleman was arrested, Section 5 of the Road Traffic Act.
I'm going to authorise your detention, as you've been arrested for supplying a positive breath test at the side of the road. Do you understand that? You're going to have to give me some details, if you would. Can I have your surname, please?
Get caught drink driving and you'll be processed like any other criminal.
OK.
Think.
How old are you, then? Are you going to tell me that?
Not far.
Tiredness kills. Think. Take a 15-minute break every 2 hours.
The World Cup may have an early start, but don't forget, 2,000 people are breathalyzed every day throughout the day. Think. Don't drink and drive. Anytime.
Have you ever glanced at your watch and had to look again because you didn't register what time it is? Have you ever read a page of a book, then reread it because you didn't take anything in? Have you ever looked both ways at a junction, then pulled out and read? Sometimes a quick glance isn't enough. Every year an estimated 1,500 motorcyclists are killed or seriously injured when drivers look but don't see. Think.
You're tired. You're becoming less and less alert. Your blinks are more frequent. Your heart rate is decreasing. You're having difficulty keeping your eyes open. Your rib cage is smashed. Your lungs are filling with blood. You're having difficulty keeping your eyes open.
Think. Tiredness kills.
If you don't take enough breaks when you're driving, the electrical activity starts to drop in parts of your brain. You'll find it harder to concentrate. You'll start to fidget in your seat. Your eyes become itchy. You will start to yawn repeatedly. Your blinks become more frequent then longer. Your heart rate decreases. Your breathing will become deeper. You'll have difficulty keeping your eyes open. Your rib cage will be smashed. You won't be able to move your legs. Your lungs will be filling with blood. You'll have difficulty keeping your eyes open.
Sleep can creep up on you. Recognize the signs. Take a 15-minute break every 2 hours. Think. Tiredness kills.
Getting your heart broken is something you often hear about in songs or read about in books, but it can happen for real. If you crash at 30 miles per hour without a seatbelt on, you'll hit the inside of the car, but your internal organs will keep travelling until they hit your rib cage. The impact can literally tear the main artery from your heart. So if you're not ready to have your heart broken, think. always wear a seatbelt. There are lots of songs about heartbreak, but hearts don't really break, do they? Well, if you crash at 30 miles per hour without a seatbelt, you'll hit the inside of the car, but your internal organs will keep travelling until they hit your rib cage. The impact can literally tear the main artery from your heart. So if you're not ready to have your heart broken, think.
Dodgy and corrupt.
Have you been banned for drink driving? Are you getting your license back soon? Are you looking for motor insurance? Then look no further than Dodgy and Corrupt Unregulated. Call us now.
Dodgy and corrupt. Vicky speaking. How can I help?
Drinking and driving? You won't find a more expensive policy guaranteed.
Dodgy and corrupt. Think of us when you drive and drink.
If you've been convicted of drinking and driving, your insurance could triple. Think.
3-point safety belts, ABS anti-lock braking, impact-absorbing airbags. There are some road users who don't have the advantage of this technology.
Easy.
A horse and its rider have less protection than other road users. So think. Slow down as you pass, give them plenty of room and be ready to stop. Remember, sounding your horn or revving your engine can scare a horse and could cause a serious accident. Think. Slow down for horses.
How long is 11 years? It's difficult to imagine. 11 years. If a man kisses his wife goodbye every day, over 11 years his lips have been pressed against hers for 14 days. If every day you jump the last step of your stairs, in 11 years you've fallen through the air over a kilometer like a skydiver. How long is 11 years? It's how long the record of a 12-month driving ban stays on your license. Time, gentlemen, please. Think. Don't drink and drive.
It was raining, and Jane Fraser was 5 minutes late for the school run. Now she is the late Mrs. Jane Fraser. It was a misty morning, and Mark Taylor was running late for a meeting. Now he's the late Mr. Mark Taylor. Over half of all driving fatalities occur on rural roads. Think. Slow down. It was a blinding sunset, and Ian Meads was a little late to tuck his son in. Now he's the late Mr. Ian Meads. It was dark, and Sue Bell was running late to meet friends at the cinema. Now she's the late Miss Sue Bell. Over half of all driving fatalities occur on rural roads. Think. Slow down.
Wrap the presents. Done. Cards posted. Tree up. Secret Santa sorted. Costume ready. Mistletoe got. Go for Christmas drink. Get pulled over. Hefty fine. 12-month ban. Problems with work. Relationship troubles. And a criminal record. Got. Don't let that pint ruin your Christmas. Think.
Do you need to borrow a load of cash fast? Maybe you've got a huge credit card bill. Maybe you've got the mafia after you. Or perhaps you've been fined for drink driving and you've been turned down by every bank in the high street. Then simply call Fly-By-Night Finance. We've helped dozens of desperate people with previous credit problems. And if you pay us back in 2 weeks, we won't send the boys round. Fly-By-Night Finance, when you're really desperate. Typical example, borrow £5,000 over 14 days, APR 99% variable, 14 days at 353.57, total payable £9,950, unlicensed lenders and credit brokers.
If you drink and drive, you could be looking at a £5,000 fine. Think. Don't drink and drive.
This is the sound of a child being hit by a car at 40 miles an hour. This is the sound of a child being hit by a car at 30 miles an hour.
If you hit me at 40 miles an hour, there's around an 80% chance I'll die. Hit me at 30 and there's around an 80% chance I'll live.
Think. It's a 30 miles an hour speed limit for a reason.
Good morning, sir. So, how many pints have you managed this morning?
About 70 or 80, so...
Right, if you'd like to step out of the float, please, sir.
What are you doing? Ow!
The World Cup starts early this year, but remember that 2,000 people are breathalyzed every day, throughout the day. Think, don't drink and drive.
This is what a double-decker bus sounds like to a toddler. An 81-year-old woman with a hearing aid would hear this. A 16-year-old girl talking to her boyfriend on a mobile hears it like this.
Alright then, so I'll see you at Dan's party tonight. Yeah, don't be late, I'll see you there. Right.
Teenagers are 3 times more likely to be knocked down than toddlers or the elderly. Think.
Just step away from the counter for me, please. Just lift your hands to the side, get the hands out of the way from me. I'm just going to search your pockets. Put what you have down on the counter from your pockets there, please. Have you anything sharp in your pockets that's going to hurt either you or me? Just keep your hands out to the side there for me, please. Take your wristwatch off, place it on the counter, please. Take your belt off and place it on the counter, please.
Get caught drink driving, and you'll be processed like any other criminal. Think.
Just step back and take your shoes off one at a time, please. And lift your feet for me one at a time, please. Okay, stick your shoes back on. Search complete, sir.
This is what a 30-ton truck sounds like to a toddler. This is what the same truck sounds like to a 75-year-old man with a hearing aid. And this is how it sounds to a 16-year-old wearing a personal stereo. Teenagers are 3 times more likely to be knocked down than toddlers or the elderly. Think.
If your car crashes at 30 miles per hour, your seatbelt will stop you hurtling forwards at 30 miles per hour. But if you'd rather not use a seatbelt, you could always use the windscreen. Or you may prefer the dashboard. Another passenger is always an option. Or if you're thrown clear of the car, you've still got the old failsafe, the road. Think, front or back, always wear a seatbelt.
Today there's no newspapers in my newsagents.
There's no bread in the baker's.
There are no apples for my lunchbox.
Today there are none of my favourite biscuits, the posh ones with the chocolate on top.
There's no milk for tea. Today there are no flowers for my mum.
None of my favourite tipple.
Or any tinned tomatoes in their own juice.
Today, many delivery drivers won't make their deliveries, because each week around 200 road deaths and serious injuries involve someone at work. Think. Give the road your full attention.
Today a pipe burst in my house and no one fixed it.
Today my central heating packed in and my family stayed cold.
Today my key snapped but no locksmith arrived.
Today my builder never showed up.
Today the cash point remained out of service.
Today my power wasn't restored.
Today, many plumbers, electricians and repairmen won't reach their destinations, because each week around 200 road deaths and serious injuries involve someone at work. Think.
It's always tempting to drive faster than you need to on those quiet country roads. It's a beautiful day, the road is clear, and it's not as if you're breaking the speed limit. Well, maybe a bit. Or you're just driving a little too fast around that bend. Then you could end up like 323 other drivers and passengers did last year. Zipped up. In a body bag. You're 3 times more likely to die in a car crash on a rural road. Think.
That's Karen. But that isn't Karen's boyfriend. No, he's at home coming to terms with the 1-year ban he just received for drink driving.
And tomorrow morning, he'll be coming to terms with the more bad news. Think. Yeah? Don't drink and drive.
11 years is a long time. Over 11 years, you'll shave off 1.5 meters of facial hair. You'll breathe enough air to fill 20 huge hot air balloons. You'll see 937 cats out of the corner of your eye. And you would listen to this radio advert over 8 million times. A lot can happen in 11 years, but while the world moves on, you'll still have the record of a 12-month driving ban on your license. Time, gentlemen, please. Think. Don't drink and drive.
Ah, Christmas, a special time of year. A time for carol singers, roasted chestnuts and hot mince pies. A time for mistletoe and mulled wine. A time for enjoying a drink or two with friends. Then getting into the car and driving home, and just slightly misjudging that bend, and mounting the curb and killing a pedestrian. Such a special time of year.
Drinking and driving is one Christmas tradition we could all do without. Think.